The Lord be with you. I'm Deacon Keith Fournier, and our first reading is from the book of Genesis. Yahweh God said, "It is not right or good that man should be alone. I shall make him a helper." So from the soil, Yahweh God fashioned all the wild animals and all the birds of heaven. These he brought to the man to see what he could call them. Each one was to bear the name the man would give it. The man gave names to all the cattle, all the birds of heaven, and all the wild animals. But no helper suitable for the man was found for him. Then Yahweh God made the man fall into a deep sleep. And while he was asleep, he took one of his ribs and closed the flesh up again forthwith. Yahweh God fashioned the rib he had taken from the man into a woman and brought her to the man. And the man said, "This one at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She is to be called woman because she was taken from the man. This is why a man leaves his father and mother and becomes attached to his wife, and they become one flesh." And our response is taken from Psalm 128. How blessed are all who fear Yahweh, who walk in his ways. Your own labors will yield you a living. Happy and prosperous will you be. Your wife a fruitful vine in the inner places of your house. Your children round your table like shoots of an olive tree. Such are the blessings that fall on those who fear Yahweh. May Yahweh bless you from Zion. May you see Jerusalem prosper all the days of your life and live to see your children's children. Peace to Israel. And our second reading is from the letter to the Hebrews. But we do see Jesus, who was for a short while made less than the angels, now crowned with glory and honor because he submitted to death, so that by God's grace, his experience of death should benefit all humanity. It was fitting that God, for whom and through whom everything exists, should, in bringing many sons to glory, make perfect through suffering the leader of their salvation. For consecrator and consecrated are all of the same stock. That is why he is not ashamed to call them brothers. In a reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. Some Pharisees approached Jesus and asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" They were putting him to the test. He answered them, "What did Moses command you?" They replied, "Moses allowed us to draw up a writ of dismissal in cases of divorce." Then Jesus said to them, "It was because you were so hard-hearted that he wrote this commandment for you. But from the beginning of creation, he made them male and female. This is why a man leaves his father and mother, and the two become one flesh. They are no longer two, therefore, but one flesh. So then what God has united, human beings must not divide." Back in the house, the disciples questioned him again about this. And he said to them, "Whoever divorces his wife and marries another is guilty of adultery against her. And if a woman divorces her husband and marries another, she is guilty of adultery too." People were bringing little children to him for him to touch them. The disciples scolded them. But when Jesus saw this, he was indignant and said to them, "Let the little children come to me. Do not stop them, for it is to such as these that the kingdom of God belongs. In truth, I tell you, anyone who does not welcome the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." Then he embraced them, laid his hands on them, and gave them his blessing. The Gospel of the Lord.